Welcome to Lab Notes. I'm Joe Fetterman from Colliers Life Sciences Advisors, and we're here today with Kristy Shuda McGuire, Dean of Biomedical Studies at the Wistar Institute. Kristy, welcome to Lab Notes.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
It's great to have you. In fact, we're really pleased that you could join us because we're talking about a theme that's become increasingly important in our minds as we look at the Philadelphia cluster. And that's really the training the bioprocessing staff for the wave of biomanufacturing that really is on its way, both in terms of the needs of growing drug development companies and the facilities that are now available for companies to actually advance and do biomanufacturing in the Philadelphia cluster. So it's exciting to have you. And Kristy, you're really an interesting story because you are both a student of the life sciences and you've taken all that training and learning that you've done and you're really applying that to spreading that out and in your role as dean.
That's right, Joe. So I was born in Philadelphia, raised in New Jersey, and then did a bachelor's degree at Loyola University in Maryland. But I came home to Philadelphia and got a job as a research assistant or laboratory technician in a lab, and also earned a Master's of Science Education. And then I decided that I really wanted to learn more about the work I was doing in biomedical research in the lab, so I went on to earn a PhD in genetics at Thomas Jefferson University.
So two quick questions come to mind. What brought you back to Philly? And why the passion for training others?
So I think everybody from Philadelphia eventually comes home. Some people never leave, and other people come back faster, and that's something that we should capitalize on as people's love for their hometown in this area. My passion for education, I think, has been there since I extracted my first DNA molecule and was able to actually visualize that as a high school student. And I kind of knew not only did I want to do this, but I wanted to help to incite that enthusiasm in others.
So let's turn our attention to the programs you have going on at the Wistar Institute. There's so much going on, and I'm not sure our audience is really fully aware of the depth and breadth of the great work that you're doing. So to just give us let's start with a quick overview.
Yeah, so the Wistar Institute is our nation's first independent biomedical research institute, and we have a pipeline of programs for students from high school through undergraduate and graduate school, as well as postdoctoral fellows. So our high school program has been running since at least 1994, and we are excited to be able to bring back a version of it this year after a pause due to the pandemic. Our undergraduate programs, we've had a long-standing biomedical technician training program in partnership with the Community College of Philadelphia. That program expanded into a biomedical research technician apprenticeship, which was the first ever registered non-traditional apprenticeship in biomedical research. And with that, the biomedical technician training program was able to be registered as a pre-apprenticeship. We also developed a course in life science innovation in partnership with LaSalle University. And then our new partnership with Cheyney University, the nation's first historically Black college or university, has Cheyney students taking advantage of both the hands-on training in a course called Biomedical Research Methods and the Life Science Innovation course. On the graduate side, we teach courses in cancer biology and vaccine and immune therapy for students at the University of Pennsylvania. We also have students from Drexel University and the University of Pennsylvania who choose to do their thesis work with our faculty at Wistar. And we have a PhD program in cancer biology with University of the Sciences, which after this summer will be under St. Joseph's University. And then we have a new program that we even managed to kick off during the pandemic, a PhD program with the University of Bologna, which is the Western world's first university in Italy. Our biggest group of trainees at Wistar are our postdoctoral fellows. So they come to Wistar for, excellent scientific training in our laboratories, and we have been developing more co-curricular programming to really prepare them for the next step in their careers after that postdoctoral fellowship.
So you're really hitting the continuum from early on all the way through postdoc. It's very, very impressive.
Thanks. Yeah, it's great when we see students in one of those earlier programs, and then we see them back for a graduate or postdoctoral fellowship.
Yeah. So one of the great challenges, and I know you think about this all the time, is how do you keep the numbers up to keep up with the pace of everything that's happening in Philadelphia? So I know that there have been some recent grants that you've won. Certainly money is a big part of it. And in addition, I think it sounds like there's also ways that organizations in the region, that companies doing drug development work, and for that matter, Big Pharma, can be supportive of your efforts. So let's talk about both the funding side and also the ways that companies can support the great work that you're doing.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, Wistar is small. We only have about 32 laboratories, but we like to say that we punch above our weight, and that is certainly true with the amount of education and training that we do.
Kristy, what I love about what you said is that the continuum of lives and careers that you're touching, literally from high school through postdoc, it's phenomenal. And I know that a lot of that has been programs that Wistar has funded, but also you're now getting support from a number of federal, state, and even local sources.
That's right, Joe. Yeah, we're really grateful. So the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry, through their PA Smart program, has supported our workforce development programs, mainly that biomedical technician training pre-apprenticeship and biomedical research technician apprenticeship. When we were unable to start a new cohort of that biomedical technician training program in the summer of 2020, we received a grant from GSK's Philadelphia STEM Equity Collective to accelerate our biomedical technician training program, take it from a 2-summer to a 1-summer program to really, increase the time in which students could finish our program and move into permanent positions. And then we recently also received a National Science Foundation grant entitled Exceed BTT, so expansion, curriculum, evolution, and enhancement during biotechnician training. And that will expand our biomedical technician training program in terms of the number of students served and also the region served to expand to other community colleges. We were also lucky enough to just receive a U.S. Economic Development Administration award to follow that same workforce development model of apprenticeship and develop a new apprenticeship in quality science, which we know will be a big need in the Philadelphia region moving forward as our industry grows.
You've got a busy curriculum. There's no doubt about it. So you mentioned GSK, and it really piques a question that I've been sitting with for a while, which is how can companies like GSK or even smaller drug development companies, how can they help you in your mission to really build out the workforce and also make it a more inclusive workforce in the region, which is really, I think, an important ingredient as well, that life sciences really can be a facility for not only PhD candidates, but people at all levels and skills to really participate and contribute to the good work that's going on in the cluster.
Yeah, so GSK's contributions through that Philadelphia STEM Equity Collective initiative have been huge, and they really came in with a commitment to support programs that have been operating in this region and doing so successfully, to help us adapt to conditions during the pandemic and have some resources to be able to grow. I think both with larger pharmaceutical companies like GSK as well as smaller biotech companies, we really need to think about them serving as training sites for students at all levels. So they want to hire employees who have the skills that they need, but these employees have to be able to learn them and be able to apply them. So at Wistar, we're really taking care of the teaching of these biomedical laboratory skills, but we really need those lab experiences and internships for students to have the opportunity to practice and apply those skills, and then they will be the employees that those companies want to hire.
Well, that's great, and hopefully we can see much more support and more opportunities for the students that you're training. I want to thank you for your time today. We're really excited about the work that you're doing. It's so important, and there's so much going on. I mean, we could have spent an hour here easily together. We want to come back and visit with you again, see how the programs are growing and developing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Joe.